Hi, my name is Kristen Brown, and today I'll be going over some tips and tricks with you and what also you need to take in your backpack when you are going hunting. So first things first, we're going to talk about what you want to take in your backpack. I use a Thunderhawk backpack, and it contains a 3-liter canteen. You always want to make sure you have water when you're out in the woods. So the first thing I put in my bag is my binoculars. And a cool trick for your binoculars or the scope on your rifle is take you some rubbing alcohol and some Q-tips and put that on your lens, and it keeps them from condensating while you're out on the hunt. Then you also want to make sure the deer can't smell you, so what I use is scent killer. I spray this on my clothes the night before, but after I ride in the vehicle or my ATV to my hunting spot, I spray down again because the human smells can rub back off of your vehicle seats and right back onto your clothes. Another thing I take is deer estrus, and for those of you who do not know what that is, it's deer pee. And you also want to take a key wick that you can dip into the estrus and hang up in the tree, which will draw deer. Another thing I take is my deer call. What's cool about this is it has an extended tube which changes the pitches of the call. And I can also change the different sounds by this band on this reed. So I can have a doe blate, or I can have a mature buck grunt. And this is one handy tool that you want to take. Then I always take a good trusty knife with me. When you kill something, you want to field dress it right after you kill it. That way it's easier to drag out and you won't have to worry about the guts when you get home and skin it. Another thing I like to take is my mask. Not only does it keep my head and my face warm, but it also adds some additional cover. Then I also like to take my thermos. I know I have water with me, but on those cold mornings, it's great, to have you some coffee, hot chocolate, hot tea, whatever you like to take with you to warm your body up a little bit. And then you want to take some antlers. Sometimes it draws bucks in when you rattle antlers sometimes. So that's a handy tool to have. And then what's also important is to have a guide for whatever state that you're in. That way you know your rules and regulations and you're not breaking the law. And then you also want to make sure you have a hunting license. That way you're licensed to kill a deer. These also contain tags. You can get them on your hunting license or in the guidebook. And then another thing that is awesome to have is to make sure you wear your orange, which it's a law that you have to wear orange on your head and orange on your body, so your orange vest. This keeps you seen by other hunters if they're around. That way you're not mistaken as a deer or another game animal and you won't get shot. So one cool trick that I like to use is laying down logs on the ground. That way I can mark the yards. So if I want to know if a deer's at 20 yards, I'll go out and I'll mark out 20 yards and I'll lay a log down. And then I will add additional deer estrus or deer oil, which will attract that deer to that spot. Bow hunters really need to know their yardage because the closer the target, the easier it is to shoot. For some gun hunters, it's just cool to know how far you shot the deer. That way it might be easier when you track it, or if you drop it, you don't have to track it at all. Another thing is a deer has 3 senses, and that is the sight, hearing, and smell. Their sight is not the greatest, but they have peripheral vision. Humans don't have that, so they have a little bit of an advantage on us. The next thing is their hearing. Of course, they have big ears, so it makes them easier to hear. And then their main sense that they use is their nose. That's why you always want to use your scent killer and have the wind blowing at a different direction than towards you from the deer's way. That way the deer can't smell you. That's all I have for you today. It's awesome to use these tricks in the woods, and I hope it helps you with your hunting adventure. Have a good day.